Blessings, law enforcement officers. Uh, let's get into today's daily devotional. We're in 1 Samuel chapters 4 through 7. And man, I got to admit, in reading this, I knew the topic, the law enforcement takeaway that I wanted to talk about in these chapters. I've had a difficult time really wording it the way I wanted. And hopefully this take will work. How many times in our careers have we let a defeat define who we are? We all have defeats. We all have that call that didn't go right, where we missed something. Something didn't go right. We all have that. Nobody's perfect. But how many times do we let that define us? Do we really let it just weigh us down and depress us and get really messed up about it? And I've done it before, and I've seen other officers do it before. So I think it's something very important we need to talk about. We get a great example of this in chapters 4 through 7. In chapter 4, just real quick, we see the Israelites go into a battle and they get defeated. And then they decide to take the Ark of the Covenant in with them the second time, thinking that that's going to help them win the battle. When I was reading this, I made a note of who in the world is leading this army. Anyway, they take the Ark into the battle, and guess what? They get beat. And the Philistines take the Ark of the Covenant, the greatest possession of the nation of Israel. It was a humiliating, embarrassing defeat. And whoever the leader was had to have just been crushed. Well, later on, we see this leader reemerge, and he happens to be the last judge of the nation of Israel. He happened to be the guy who anointed King Saul and King David. So he was a very important man in the history of Israel, and he bounced back from this defeat, and he finished really well. He's none other than none other than Samuel, the guy these two books are written about, 1st and 2nd Samuel, that chronicles the history of Saul and the history of David, and he was very influential in both their lives. But he didn't let that defeat define him. We've got to remember that and take that away. Just log that into your memory, and when you get defeated or something happens, you got to bounce back. There's no time to stop and get depressed. We've got too many other calls to answer, and we've got to go forward as ministers in law enforcement, as salt in this decaying world, and as a beacon of light and hope for the people of our communities. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next daily devotional. Be safe.